Alright, so today we're going to be testing out the new Onslaught event, as well as checking out the new events to kind of see what we're dealing with today. So before we get into the Onslaught event, I'm just going to check these new events out essentially. You may already know they're going to be offering the Blizz Frost mech, the new mech, and this Burrow Beam weapon. So essentially these crate push events are here. So also this cooldown event. So yeah. So essentially they're like a derby events right here that offer 1 token. So the derby event offers 1 token for the mech, and also there's 1 token in the Onslaught event. Essentially right here, if you go here, you complete all 5 levels, you get 1 token for the mech. So essentially it's a total of 2 tokens for this event. Really good option for free-to-play players. There's a decent chance of getting it. It's like a 1% chance, but I think some of you may have already got it by now, but yeah. In terms of this Craybush event right here, this is a complete scam. Do not even spend any acorns on this at all. It's a complete scam, people. So I have 3 tokens right here. There is this Battleathon event right here that offers the 3 tokens. Already completed this. So if you haven't completed this, I definitely recommend completing this and get the tokens. Essentially, don't spend acorns on this. Is a complete scam. Reason is because if you look at the drop rates, 0.15%, there's less likely to get it. You're going to be spending over 3,000 acorns or something more than that in order to even get it. It's kind of a waste. Don't even do it, because these unlimited rewards will easily prevent you from getting it, essentially. I'm going to demonstrate with my 3 tokens right here. We'll see. Yeah, so it's almost guaranteed to land on these unlimited rewards every time. So essentially the chances you get something good is kind of good. Don't recommend spinning. Yeah, look at 3 unlimited rewards, and all of these are credits. So the credits have the highest drop rates essentially, right? So essentially these have the highest drop rates, so you're most likely just to get credits of this kind of garbage right here. So don't spend acorns on this complete scam. Any of those do, just highly avoid this essentially. Now we're going to get into the Onslaught event. Also to note that there's this loyalty program special days event giving a total of 175 acorns and some interesting skins and blueprints for the Blizz Frost mech, which is very nice. Definitely recommend you pick these up and everything. So yeah, now we're going to get into some Onslaught event and kind of see how it goes. So essentially, like 5 levels in total. This Onslaught event, unlike the other 2 ones, are completely free, so every free-to-play player can access these essentially. So let's get into it, and I'll talk more about the mech when we get into the battle essentially. Okay, so let's just activate this ability. It's like an interesting radius type thing there. So we're using Strike Rocket 8s. It's very interesting. The best option here is just dump each magazine one after another, essentially. Now watch this. Like that. It's funny. The ability damage at max level is like 50,000, right? But this is like rank 4 at this level, so essentially these vanguards are going to take a little while to kill essentially. So yeah, it's a very interesting ability indeed, you know. It's like a combination of a Zephyr and a Vortex. It has damage resistance as a Vortex, and it has like a kind of a stun type thing as Zephyr, but it works more like a Zephyr, but it's not actually a Zephyr, because it doesn't EMP the enemy in place. It just keeps them from moving, but you can still turn around and shoot right. So essentially, whatever bug was that? Yeah, but also the ability grants like a speed boost, just like Vortex, right? But this thing is like 20% compared to that thing. It's like 100%. but it still reaches like a decent speed of 35 kilometers per hour, so that's really nice, essentially. Oh yeah. Hey, cooked. Imagine, bruh, particle beams work in this way in real battles. It's not the case though. Pew pew. Pew pew. Bye-bye. This thing is so OP. Just kidding. I think it only looks like that because it's an Onslaught event. Essentially. But yeah, pretty easy matches though. Kinda not that much, but I mean, it's pretty fun. I like the max ability though. It's not... The max ability looks a bit overpowered, but I think it's kind of like a thing. It's more of like a close range brawling type mech, right, essentially? It's more of like a close range brawling type thing where like it outbrawls some mechs at close range, but in long range it's kind of weak, I'd say. Long range it's kind of weak. Excuse me? What is this bug? Excuse me? Whatever. Yeah, there's a weird bug, guys. It's a weird bug. Excuse me? Oh, never mind. Thank you for working. That was weird. That was weird. I don't know what's with that bug. I don't know. I mean, it's buggy arena, so yeah, less essentially. Pew pew pew. This guy right here. Hello boys, how are you? There's a cooked, that's what it is. Oh yeah. You can see right here, like the enemy has to be elevated just about my height in order for the ability to work essentially. Which is kinda weird, I don't know why. But I think it's a good way to keep the mech balanced out. So essentially like here, I think like there's like a specific height the enemy has to be in to activate. If the enemy is like too low or too high, the ability won't affect them. But even still, it's pretty interesting though. Like, abilities like this is like very nice, right? I kind of wish Surge also had the same mechanic where like, if you can just stop your dash, like Surge for example, right? Like you can stop your dash mid-dash and enemy below will still get EMP'd, right? I kind of wish that was not the case, so that way like it's not too broken, right? I think Surge should also have that kind of thing, essentially. But yeah. Very interesting ability. It has downsides and upsides to kind of compensate the fact that the ability is like too strong. But good stuff though. Let's just take this commander out with like one blow. And yeah, that's pretty easy though. The game just bugged out for a second, I don't know why, but that was a weird thing. Essentially. Let's go again. Excuse me? Yeah, you just like press that thing. Never mind. Bye-bye. Well. This guy right here. It's a fool right there. But what is this stupid little notification again mean? Excuse me. Yeah, I'm gonna be touching this notification for whatever reason. Kinda OP though. Kinda OP. Okay. I had to like kind of get rid of that. I don't know what's with that bug. I think they need to fix it. I think the new update is causing this. Essentially, I don't know if it's for everyone or just for me. Kind of weird, but I kind of say. Oh, bye-bye. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. These bots are like level 1 or something. they're getting absolutely eviscerated, bro. I don't know how that's fair, but it is something. It is something. There's gonna be like a YMD over there, right? Yeah, cooked. Very cool. Hopefully that bug is gone now. That was annoying. That was really annoying. Oh yeah, so final match, essentially. I'm just gonna activate my ability quickly to get there as fast as possible because the enemy spawn point is on the other side. I had to get there quickly. Reapers do have a 60 meters range, so I'm not gonna be able to do anything until I get close. After I do get close though, it's kind of fine. Pew pew. Pew pew. Pew. Oh yeah, this is so nice, bro. People. Oh yeah. You guys are cooked. Maybe I'm also cooked though. I am also cooked though. Good thing this thing has a damage resistance, or else I kinda would be dead here. Oh yeah. OP though. I can just walk right up to him. Pew. Excuse me. Thank you for dying quickly. Well, want to fire the left hand side first and the right side so that way I have constant damage output essentially, so that we can just keep killing things essentially that keep them close. No, please. Do we really need EMP right now? It's so annoying. Brother. Uh-oh, that's a chungus. That's gonna be an issue. Don't want him to boost the damage of our boys here. Gonna do a lot more damage than us. Oh yeah. Let me wait for my ability. Let's go. I got it. Yeah, rough decision there, brawling right into the enemy, but it worked. Can't complain. It's kinda cool. I'm gonna assume that we did not make it in the leaderboard, but it's fine. But I think it's nice. But these stupid offers anyways, but apart from that, we did get the token, which is nice, So, let's spin this thing, shall we? And kind of see what we get. Anything good? 5 fortune keys, I freaking take it, bro. I take it. Either the acorns or the fortune keys, I take it. And now, I can do this. But garbage though. I mean, it is fine. At least it's something. He's emptying out all those skins is one job. But yeah, I think the new mech is very interesting though, you know. Like it's in tier 9 right here, next to Mimicker. Very interesting ability indeed. As you can see here, it creates a zone that freezes enemies and makes Frost immune to stasis effect. So abilities like Hunter's Mark, right? Like where it applies as a stasis effect, that stasis effect while the ability is active, the duration. It's immune to like all stasis effects. So like if you're facing like a Panther, for example, you can just walk right into the barrier, no problem. It's not a big deal. And like frozen enemies take damage and can't move or use movement based abilities. This essentially applies to like a lot of movement based abilities like Nomad, Lace Wing, Surge, Eclipse. Surge, however, you can still EMP the target, so it's kind of cooked against Surge, but apart from that, like Deathwalker, stuff like that, right? So anything that's considered like kind of helps you move distances faster, is essentially what we consider movement-based ability here. It is to note that this mech does counter Eclipse, because the thing is, once you activate the ability, if the Eclipse is within the ability range, it'll deactivate the Eclipse's ability and freeze it right in place. So essentially, it's like a deactivating. It's like a system crash type thing, right? Like where you deactivate the Eclipse's ability and just freeze it in one place. So essentially, this mech is going to be very good in some team play situations, I assume. And like team plays with, if you combo it up with like a Surge or something, right? Because it has good comparable speed, right, to a Surge, not as fast as a Surge, because Surge obviously has a dash, so it can cover more distance quickly. But this still is pretty fast, so not as fast, but still pretty fast, essentially. So I think it could be useful in team play situations to counter some specific mechs. This mech clearly counters both Eclipse and Nomad to a degree, essentially because it has 50% damage resistance. But if you're brawling with a Nomad, right, essentially that's per mech. So per mech you get 12.5 resistance stack. You get stacked on resistance up to 2 mechs, so you get a total of 75% damage resistance if you're brawling 2 people at the same time. So example, if you're facing like a Nomad, you'll get a total of 62.5 damage resistance, where the Nomad has 60. Since both Nomad and this mech have the same stats, this one is guaranteed to win every time because it has the most damage resistance. And like against Eclipse, it's obvious, right? This thing has like same energy capacity but more base HP than Eclipse, also on top of the added damage resistance, right? So essentially this thing counters both Eclipse and Nomad but loses to a Surge, I'd say. But in general, very strong mech indeed. But still, this mech is kind of fairly balanced, I think. But we're gonna have to wait and see until then. Because the thing is, this mech is like mostly a close range brawling type thing, right? It's like mostly a close range brawling type thing. But at long range, I think many abilities can mess it up. Like Hunter's Mark, even if you can stasis the enemy, a lot of damage output can, like, you're gonna be dead before you even get to the enemy, right? So like there's a lot of abilities like Hemlock and stuff like that can finish it from a distance without getting close. This main effectiveness is getting, once it gets close, this is a pain to deal with because it's like crazy strong. It can outbrawl most of the gears mechs in the game, right? So essentially anything that like wants to brawl is not going to do so well against this thing. It's pretty strong, essentially. So yeah, also very interesting stuff indeed. But one of the most interesting parts about this mech, the mechanic is a pretty interesting thing to a Surge, right? So where you also apply a debuffs to the enemy, but also you get your own buff. So like the Surge EMPs the other guy, and like you also get a stealth buff. The same way this mech is also, even if you don't hit the enemy with your ability, you still get your own buff, the damage resistance and the speed boost, right? So that's really good, essentially. It's a very interesting ability overall. I think it still needs a bit of like balancing, because I think in like most close range scenarios it's going to be very strong. Overall, I think this mech is going to be meta easily. Mostly, even if it's not top meta, it's going to be like a easy meta viable option. I consider this S tier already, like it's crazy strong. In terms of the beam weapon is right here, the Burrow Beam. This weapon is crazy strong, has a lot of shield piercing and everything. I have seen a lot of content creators use this on test server. Very, very strong indeed. I kind of think it's better than Revoker easily, because even with that one-shot delay, it defeats Revoker in terms of like damage output. So yeah, I think it's gonna be like a new must-have weapon type thing. People are going to use like the same one weapon on like 3 mechs, and like other 2 mechs are going to be like Revoker or Stormwreck, whatever. So I think it's going to be like that. I'm not a big fan of like the same 3 weapon with the same 3 mechs with the same 1 weapon category, right? Like I'm not a big fan of that, and I don't know everyone is not a fan of that, but you do it because you want to win, right? So that is what it is. But yeah, very interesting updates indeed. Definitely recommend you guys grind these tokens and everything, finish all these events, even if you cannot log in that much. Definitely recommend you finish all these free events and everything. So yeah, definitely worth it. One more note I want to make about is that if you're planning on buying this mech, It cost a total of 90 USD, which is kind of expensive. I don't recommend you buy it from here. Essentially, I would wait a couple of weeks and see if you can get it in this flash deal section. It'll be for the same price, as you can see right here. It'll be for $5, which is much cheaper than getting it here, and it'll be rank 3, but it's still going to be the same thing, right? Instead of spending like almost so many times the price, you can just get it for much cheaper, but even one rank lower. So it's essentially much better. You may need the blueprints for it, but you can get that eventually, like through like some trade rush events, right? There is this login program that gives you a couple of blueprints, which is nice. So essentially, I would, for most people that are planning on getting this mech because it's OP, I would kind of wait until it gets in the flash deal section. It is going to be there eventually. I'm going to assume in more like 2 or 3 weeks it's going to be the flash deal section, right? So yeah, that's the advice I would give to people. Very interesting updates indeed. I'm looking forward to more stuff like this. Hope you all enjoyed the video. Thank you all.